I'll start the ATH boxing now, are we? Hope you all had a good weekend. Obviously, again, not a lot happened if we're talking about UK boxing. And like I said in previous videos, my knowledge of the US side isn't as great as the UK side. All I've really got to talk about today is Jaron Ennis against Romain Villa. That was a good fight, though. That was a really good fight. I didn't watch it live or anything, but I've seen a few highlights and it looked like it was really good. I heard Villa was very, very tough. Um, and a lot of people are starting to say that Boots is the future of the 147 division after July 29th. Um, Obviously, we've got Spence versus Crawford. That's not the biggest fight in that night because we've got Liam Davies versus Jason Cunningham. We are counting down the days. Come on now. Um, but yeah, so that was that. Obviously, I'm not going to sit and talk too much about it because I don't know a lot. I really don't know a lot about it. And then we had Diego Pacheco against whatever the other guy's name was. I can't remember the name. Obviously we had the Golden Boy show, which was meant to be what's his name? Staniosis, whatever his name is, versus Virgil Ortiz Jr. But Ortiz had to pull out for the third time, which isn't great. You never like to see a fight have to pull out, but unfortunately he had to. Um, so we'll move on. I just have to move on now. They're not rescheduling. I was going to move on. Again, fair play. Let me get the Diego Pacheco up. I watched Diego Pacheco and Diego was very good as per. Um, he's young as well, man. That's the thing with Diego Pacheco. He's so young, 19 and 0 at what, 22 years old with 16 knockouts against a man who a lot of people thought was going to take him the distance, Manuel Galejos. A lot of people were starting to think that Manuel might have took him the distance, maybe giving him some rounds that he needed. Uh, he did not. Diego Pacheco stormed him out. Obviously, Diego's now headlined in the UK. Obviously, he wasn't scheduled to headline in the UK, but he has headlined in the UK now. Headlined in Mexico. Eddie Hearn said that he wants to headline him in LA next. I think that's huge. I think that is huge. Let's be real. That's massive for fucking Pacheco. Um, but yeah, that's what really happened over the weekend. I actually watched UFC, and UFC was really good. I'm actually going to get the card up now because I watched it live and I watched everything from Robbie Lawler onwards. So yeah, obviously Robbie Lawler in his retirement fight. I am going to discuss UFC because I did. Like I said, I watched it. Um, yeah, retirement fight. Say goodbye. You know, a man of Robbie Lawler's caliber deserves a chance to say goodbye, especially one of those where like they knew it was his last fight. Obviously, sometimes you have fighters who maybe come to the end and just retire in the octagon. But he actually, said before the fight, this is it. This is his last one. What a way to go out, man. Inside 40 seconds, he gets the first round stoppage. He absolutely flattened Nico Price with a couple of clinch uppercuts. It was really good. It was really good. Good to see a legend guy like that, man. Robbie Lawler's a legend in the UFC. Um, then we had Bo Nickel versus Val Woodburn. It was obviously originally wasn't meant to be Val Woodburn. It was meant to be Trishan Gore. But Trishan pulled out. And instead Val Woodburn. I can't lie, I kind of wanted Val Woodburn to win. Just seeing the embedded clips of him traveling by himself and stuff. I was like, oh, John, it'd be really good to see him win. He didn't win. He got flattened. He got flattened in exactly the same time as Nico Price inside 40 seconds. Bo Nickel isn't just a wrestler, he's got hands. He's got serious hands as well. So those were some nasty shots. Fair play. Then we had Jalen Turner versus Dan Hooker. What a fight. That fight was seriously good. It was a seriously good fight. Um, the fight was so close to score though. Round one, Turner. Round three, Hooker. Round two, how do you score it? Do you score it to the 4 minutes that Jalen Turner won, or the last minute that Dan Hooker won? But if you look at in the 4 minutes that Jalen Turner had, Dan Hooker had probably had more success and damage in that last minute, especially the way he nearly finished him at the end of the round. So give or take, either way, it was a really good fight. Both of them out and then put it on the line. Jalen Turner's an absolute monster for that weight as well. How tall is he? He's huge. I want to say 6'3". Yeah, 6'3" at 155 is unbelievable. That is scary. How do you get? I thought Dan Hooker was tall for the 155 like division, but Jalen Turner, man, monster, good fighter as well. Moving on, we had Rob Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis. You'd be lying if you thought du Plessis was going to knock out Whittaker. You'd be lying. You're either South African or you're lying. Because there's no way anyone believed Dricus du Plessis was going to be able to knock out Rob Whittaker, but he did. And fair play. He looked really good while doing it as well. Whittaker looked like the better fighter, but Dricus used what he used what he needed to use, which was his size. He was clearly the bigger fighter. And he used his size to his advantage, the way he took him down at the end of the first round. Obviously, it wasn't the cleanest looking takedown, but he got him down, and Rob couldn't do anything. That's where he got split open. And then second round, du Plessis just caught him with a really good. I think was it a jab? I want to say it was a jab. Either way, caught him brilliantly, caught him fantastically. And then obviously dropped him. Whittaker kind of looked at the ground for a second, then stood back up, and he just never looked the same after that. Never looked the same. So du Plessis picked up the W and is now fighting Adesanya in September, UFC 293 in Sydney. I'm really excited for that, and I don't really think you can. You kind of got to give du Plessis his credit going into this one. Obviously, a lot of people's argument for this fight against Whittaker was du Plessis is not good. But du Plessis with a functioning nose and getting 100% oxygen intake, oxygenated du Plessis is a monster. I don't know. I think it's going to be a really intriguing fight between those. I think Adesanya will win, but I'm not going to disrespect du Plessis. I'm not going to give him the disrespect. And, we've got to give him his credit this time because he's proved himself now. Co-main event, we saw one of the probably the fight of the night, in my opinion. Brandon Moreno versus Alexander Pantoja. That was a really good fight. The first 3 rounds of that was unbelievable, man. Just back and forth action. If you look at it, I'd say Pantoja won. Yes. I had it 49-46 Pantoja or 48-47 Pantoja. But if you Brandon Moreno won the fight, but Pantoja won the rounds because Pantoja was dead most of the fight. He was gassed out after the first, but he did the right things to win the rounds by controlling. And while it wasn't the most aggressive form of control, I got a fly floating about. That was a bit of fluff. It was enough to win the round and to keep Moreno quiet. Bear in mind, Moreno did break his hand, or was it? I think he broke his hand in the first round. So fair play to him for keep going, man. Fair play. Brandon Moreno has always been a good fighter, though. He's such a good fighter to watch. There's just something about him, man, that I think's unreal. I really do like Brandon Moreno. I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch or a third fight even between these two. I think it'd be really good. And then finally, main event, we have Volk versus Yair Rodriguez. Pretty self-explanatory. Volk is him. I'm not really going to talk too much on the Volk fight because Volk just did his thing, snatched another soul. Now I'm going to go over to the Twitter side of things. So obviously today we had the AJ press conference. So we had the AJ versus Dillian Whyte 2 presser. I applied to go. I thought I was going, and then last minute I couldn't go. It is a shame. I'd love to have been there. Would have loved it. But sadly, I couldn't. However, it was, let's just look at what happened. So we saw, obviously, Dillian Whyte make a few comments. Him and Eddie Hearn had a little back and forth, which was quite funny. It was quite funny. I'm gonna make a bit more of a video going more in depth with this fight in itself in a couple of days, or maybe next week. I could possibly be in Newcastle this weekend though for Josh Kelly. I'm still figuring that all out. But that's not the point. First of all, like I said with Jamie Moore the other day, what a fight! What a absolute fight to make. I think this is the perfect fight, but also the worst fight for AJ. It's the riskiest, and regardless of which fight he took, Wilder was there. But I think he took the fight which will get the best out of him. I think Jamie Moore said it perfectly. He needs a fight where he's emotionally involved. And this one, there's bad blood, there's history, this history that stems all the way back to the amateur days. And it's almost one that AJ can really get his teeth into and really push himself on. I think that'll not just push him in training camp, but I think that'll push him on fight night, which is I think where he really needs pushing. I think no matter who he's fighting in training, he trains the same way. He's an animal. He does what he needs to do. But I think on fight night, you need someone that's going to bring the best out of him. I don't think he can get away with just doing what he did against Franklin against Dillian. Obviously, both of these two's last fights were against Jermaine Franklin. I'd say AJ had the better performance when you look at both of the men who faced. Obviously, when you look at both of the two, obviously AJ and Whyte, AJ had the better performance against Franklin. Obviously, a lot of people argued that Franklin beat Dillian Whyte, which is why Franklin got the fight. But here we are, August 12th, O2 Arena. Tickets are already sold out. I've not got a ticket. I'm so pissed. I really want to go to that fight. I'm gonna be in, out, everywhere. Um, just looking for tickets or praying and we get a pass. Get the press pass. I doubt I will because it's such a big fight. I really doubt I'll be there. But it looked good. It looked solid. Derek Chisora said that he's on the undercard supposedly. I think when we look at the undercard, we've got Cash versus Aaron Williams, but no one's sure what's going on with that because Cash has recently moved trainer. So you possibly got that. Fabio Wardley. I think Conway versus Udofia could be on it. Which may give me a chance of getting tickets. So I'll go through Conway. Always like that with Conway. But I don't know. It's such a good fight. It's gonna be such a good card as well. I really want to go. I'm gonna do anything I can to be there. I really want to go. I'm so excited for it. Do you know what I'm also excited for? Because this flows nicely into my next point. Matchroom schedule that they're releasing for the rest of the year. Supposedly, so this isn't all confirmed, but there's rumors that we'll have Katie Taylor versus Chantel Cameron 2 or Chantel Cameron versus Katie Taylor 2 in Dublin on November 25th with Jose Felix Jr., I want to say his name is, against Gary Cully 2. Obviously, I really like Gary Cully. I've interviewed him, but not for my channel. I really want to get him for my channel. I love Gary Cully. Yeah, Jose. It's just I think it's just Jose Felix. Yeah. So he's facing Jose Felix again on November 25th, supposedly. Fair play, man. Because he took a fight with a guy where he was already struggling. Let me get the scorecards up. Okay, everyone did have Gary Cully winning the first 2 rounds before it got stopped in the third. But still, to take a fight, so you just lost your first fight. Bearing in mind you're a prospect, it's not like you've lost this fight at world title level. He's lost this fight at the growing stage of his career when Matchroom were trying to make a name out of him. And he could have come back to anyone really. And out of everyone, he's come back to obviously a rematch with Jose Felix, who absolutely flatlined him. So fair play. The balls on him must be massive. What else we got? Joe Cordina is going to be headlining in Cardiff on September 30th. I'm not going to make any guarantees probably being able to cover that because Cardiff's fucking far from Nottingham. I'd love to. I would love to be there. But it's really far away. It is really far away. So we'll have to see what's going on there. Hopefully Gavin Gwyn's on the under. I think Gavin Gwyn will be on the undercard fighting for the European. I am going to be getting him back on the channel at some point. He will return because we love Gavin. We love what he's about. And he's just a great guy to talk to. He's a good man to talk to. So hopefully if I can, I'll go down. I will go to Cardiff because I really want to experience Cardiff atmosphere because they look unreal for Cordina fight nights and obviously all the other fight nights that they had in Cardiff. Obviously in the past, the crowd always looks unreal. And then the other big fight that I'm sure, do you know what? Right, we're gonna take a look at the big old international boxing news. My boys, they will have everything that we need to see, that we need to talk about. Jermaine Franklin's fighting this weekend, obviously on the Baumgardner Linodar 2 undercard. His original opponent's pulled out, but he's now got in an undefeated Mexican called Isaac Munoz Gutierrez. Not going to sit here and say I know a lot about this guy. However, we're going to do a Google search now. Good to see that. No, what am I spelling? I already spelled his name wrong. Isaac Munoz. I put Cruz. It's good to see Franklin getting his last deal, his last fight on his deal with Matchroom though. Let's have a look at this guy. Right, with the neck looks wham, wow. 17-0 with 14 knockouts and one draw, and that draw came in his third fight in his career. This guy's only done up to 8 rounds. So make of that what you want. I think it's a good fight for Franklin though. I think it's just good to see Franklin getting out. Um, Obviously it is fight week for Baumgartner versus Linodatu. It is annoying that we don't have Richardson versus I can't remember the other guy's name, but at this point we don't have that fight. But we do have the debut of Andy Cruz Gomez Jr. Wow. I'm so excited for that. That's gonna be really good. Obviously fight with Josh Kelly. Wood versus Warrington, October 7th. Possibly with the world title on the line for Lee Wood to defend, but we're not sure. We'll have to wait to see what goes on there. Either way, I'll be there. Sheffield Arena. It's obviously bang slap bang in the middle of Nottingham and Leeds, which means the Nottingham boys can come up, the Leeds boys can come. It'll be a really good night. I think Manchester would have been sick though. 20,000 seats on sale for Wood Warrington would have been electric. But I think if it is Sheffield, then I'm happy because it is closer to Nottingham. To be fair, makes it an easier night's work. Anything else? Any other bits of news? Um, Mark Dickinson faces Grant Dennis on the undercard of Glau 5 Birmingham on August 19th. That'll be good. I'm excited for that. I always love a good next gen show. A next gen show is always quality. I was at Usyk Dubois. Um, I'm riding with Daniel Dubois. Just I'm a massive Dubois fan. I've been a fan of Dubois for as long as I can remember since I've been into boxing. Um, First fight I can remember properly watching Daniels is the Nathan Gorman fight, but I've been watching a little bit before that as well. Um, but yeah, I love Daniel Dubois. I love that guy. I don't know what it is about him. I just love him. I just love him. I would like if there's only one man I could have on the channel to interview, like not my, I mean, it's not my dream interview, but one man that I would like really I'd sit there and say like I'm doing bits. It's Daniel Dubois. I love him so much. There's something about I don't know. Just the way he fights, like his jab beautiful. It just is the way he boxes is beautiful. I think he's got such a good style. Um, do I think he has the potential to trouble Usyk? We don't know. It's the heavyweight division. If Dubois lands, it's fatal because Dubois hits so hard. I think he could be one of the hardest hitters in the division. Like he's just naturally heavy-handed. Like look at Wilder. There's explosive power. Um, Joyce has just got that engine that he just doesn't feel pain, and that's what I think works a lot more is that he tires his opponents out. Dubois has got one shot knockout power, just naturally heavy handed. He's unbelievable. Obviously, his last fight wasn't great. I'm not going to sit here and just like back him the whole time. He should have been stopped in that last one. WBA have a rule that if you get dropped 3 times in one round, fight's done. He got dropped 3 times in the first round against Lorena, and it wasn't done. I don't think he got outclassed though. I think it was just his knee went. Don't get me wrong, first knockdown, fair enough. He got hit. But the other two is he just couldn't regain his balance. Um, but it'll be interesting to see. Obviously on TNT Sports pay-per-view, no longer BT. In now 8 days' time, we will see the rebrand. That's it, the rebrand of BT Sport. Um, Fraser Clark's possibly facing Dave Allen next on September 2nd on a boxer card. But obviously, since Derek announced that he's fighting today, a lot of people think they're going to see Derek Chisora versus Dave Allen. I think there's one fight that people are forgetting. I think we might, just might, see Fabio Wardley versus Derek Chisora. Because Derek Chisora's fighting against Pulev involved that WBA belt that Wardley now holds, I'm fairly sure. I really want to say it is. Um, Eric Chisora. This is Cobra Pula 2. Um, so I'm fairly sure that he had the WBA Intercontinental title on the line. Right, let me go on the fight poster. It's the fight poster will just say anyway. If there's a fight poster screenshot. Either way, I'm fairly sure Chisora held that belt. So maybe we could see that fight. I'd be really intrigued by seeing a Wardley versus Chisora. I think it'd be a great name for Wardley to get on the record. Especially if he wins. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. I think that's all from me though for today. If you've enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, do your thing. We're already over 400 subscribers. Let's just push for 500. Why not? I know we're on 487, but let's just push for 500. If we get 500, that's a massive milestone. You get me? Like, I've been doing this since February. It's now the 10th of July. I'm only on 400 subs. I'm not doing bad. I'm not doing bad at all. And I'll see you at some point this week. I'm gonna try and get another couple of people onto the channel. I'm gonna send out a few texts after this. We'll see what happens. But anyway, that's all. Adios, people. Adios.